yet. We have to start the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
That was a workout, guys. I hope you enjoyed our new intro. Welcome to You Make the Call, UNC's one and only sports talk show. Before we get into our topics this evening, I'd like to introduce my co-host for the evening. To my right, I have Ryan Davis. He's the former sports anchor at Carolina Connection, does some work for the ACCsports.com. Ryan, great to have you with us. And Mike Rodriguez, to his right, great to have you back on the show as well.
Thank you.
We'll go ahead and get things started. I don't see any reason to waste any more time. The AFC Championship game, it was a thriller. Absolutely great game. But did the best team win?
I'm going to say yes. I think that the Patriots, they proved it all year long. They were the #1 seed. They were the best team in the AFC, despite having a wide receiver playing third corner. Despite that secondary, really, every other aspect of this team is very strong. Although the running game, they don't have Ray Rice over there running the ball. But Tom Brady makes up for that. And I think that, as they showed all year long, they were the best team in the AFC, and even if it was by a narrow margin.
I don't think the best team can have the second worst defense in the NFL. So I'm not going to say they were better. I'm not going to say they were worse than the Ravens. It came down to 2 plays. A field goal came down to Lee Evans dropping that catch, which was actually knocked out of his hands. And so, I think they were about even. Either team could have easily won, and then we could have the argument either way. I'd say they're about the same.
No, see, I disagree with both of you guys. I think that day, Sunday, the Ravens were clearly better because Joe Flacco was playing at a really high level. The defense was playing well, but Joe Flacco was being the quarterback that we were hoping he would become. I think everybody saw him as eventually a top 10 kind of quarterback, and he played like it. He outplayed Tom Brady thoroughly. And when you win that position battle against the Patriots, you should win the game. Some missed opportunities by the Ravens, but I felt like they were the better team, particularly on Sunday.
I couldn't agree more. They did outplay him, but just looking over the course of the season, I can't see how. The Ravens are better overall in kind of every facet, and I don't know if it was so much Joe Flacco being good as the Patriots secondary being bad.
I think that the Patriots, they may have been outplayed in the box score by the Ravens, but I think that the Patriots defense, as bad as it's been all year, and it wasn't great all game long, but they came up with big plays when they needed to. Stopping Ray Rice on big plays, forcing them into field goal situations, knocking the ball out of Lee Evans' hands at the end of the game, and forcing them into a chip shot field goal, but still making them make that play all the same. I think that this Patriots defense made the plays it had to, and the offense was consistent enough, especially there in the fourth quarter, to win the game.
Well, in my mind, this just all comes back to the fact that I don't think there were any really strong teams in the AFC. I didn't see any at the beginning of the playoffs that I thought even deserved to be in the Super Bowl. In fact, maybe not on this show, but on some sports talk show, maybe it was the Sports Rep on WXYC, I'm not real sure. Shameless plug there, folks. Sorry about that. I said that the Super Bowl champion would come out of the NFC because I felt like the talent, it was just a lot more stacked, especially in those top 3 teams. Now, none of those teams are in the Super Bowl, but the team that beat those teams is. And that serves as a perfect segue into the NFC Championship game discussion. Eli Manning, pretty sure he cemented his status as an elite quarterback in this league. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree. I think just all year long, Eli's been so impressive. Clearly, in my mind, putting himself as one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL, which I would not have put him in going into the year. I would have said that it was a clear top 4, and then Eli was a step under. But this year, his numbers have been phenomenal. I think he had the most fourth quarter comebacks of all time in one season. This season, passing.
And they only won 9 games.
Right. And he was just so impressive all year long, so clutch, and he didn't have those performances he's had in the past where he would go out and bomb a game or throw a ton of interceptions. And without Eli Manning, this Giants team is an average team at best.
I totally disagree. I don't think he's elite at all. Not yet, anyway. They won 9 games this year. Peyton Manning, winning 14 games without a defense. Now, that's an elite level. But, really, he played to the level of his defense. When his defensive line was hurt, they didn't play well. They lost key games down the stretch. When they had their defensive line there, and all of their defensive players, they performed way better. So I don't think it was more of a team effort than just Eli Manning stepping up. Now, he did step it up, but I wouldn't put him quite at the elite level yet.
See, I do think he's elite, but I think you bring up a very good point. You look at the Patriots, who we were just talking about, no defense whatsoever, and they won, 13 games? They won a bunch of games this year. And then the Giants, in arguably a tougher conference, but still, only 9 games and squeaking into the playoffs, having to win that last game to get there, it's a double-edged sword here, a complex argument for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you, Andy. I don't think Eli Manning is necessarily the same player that Peyton Manning is, or even that Tom Brady or Drew Brees or Aaron Rodgers are.
Yeah, I think that discussion is not appropriate.
Right. I don't think he's on the same level, interchangeable with those players, but I do think that he is on their level in terms of the quarterbacks as a whole in the NFL. I think that top 5, including him, is a step above all of the rest.
But if they're not interchangeable, then he's a step down from those 4. I could interchange Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, or Tom Brady. I could just grab out of a hat and, have the same success with any of those 3 quarterbacks. But if I picked Eli out of that hat, I'd rather have Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers in that game rather than Eli.
It's true. I guess it just depends on how you define elite status. And that just brings up the point that Giants team only won 9 games. That was a very close game. It came down to some mistakes by the 49ers.
Yes.
Do you think that was a Giants win or more of a 49ers loss? I realize it's both, but how is it defined?
Well, it's tough. I think that I'm going to go with Giants win, just because I think that if you take Vernon Davis off the 49ers, then that offense isn't doing much at all. I mean, he was Alex Smith's go-to weapon all playoffs long, more than just this game. He scored both touchdowns for the 49ers, and without Vernon Davis on the field, I don't think they're even in the game. And so being able to take him out of the equation at the very end of the game, and whether the 49ers completely blew it or whether the Giants forced those plays, I don't think that Alex Smith was going to win that game regardless.
I mean, the fact that Vernon Davis was in that game, though, shows that it was a 49ers loss. Kyle Williams, two miscues in the fourth quarter and overtime. And, I mean, that really ended up coming back to bite them because they couldn't recover from that.
Well, guys, in any case, I think this sets up a very intriguing Super Bowl rematch from just a few years ago. We won't do that preview on this week's show, but join us next week, and we will do a Super Bowl preview, I'm sure. I'm really looking forward to that. Those 2 weeks always seem to throw me off a little bit. I'm ready to preview the Super Bowl. No. Yeah. Cam Newton in the Pro Bowl.
Okay, there you go.
All right.